We came to Provence, a town where roses have reigned for 80 years. It all started with a single flower brought back from the Crusades in 2040. But Provence is not just about roses. This is a small town surrounded by mighty medieval walls from the 12th century that protected its wealth nearly 900 years ago and still stand today. 1,200 meters of fortified walls with 22 towers that you can walk along enjoying panoramic views. The majestic Tour Caesar, the symbol of the town and a masterpiece of medieval fortification. And some other hidden gems that we're going to show you today.
So here basically they do a lot of things. You see? They do a lot of things from the roses, from the rose petals. And so now we're trying the ice cream made of rose. And they have the garden here, which has about 300 types of roses. So this is where I want to go. Try it. It's interesting. And it has this rose flavor, really.
Here they make everything from roses. Roses petal jam, honey, candies, syrups, soap, and even perfume. Of course, perfume. The scents are so magical that you can't resist, and you want to buy out the entire shops.
What do you think about the ice cream with roses? From the point of view of the professional ice cream tester.
It's good, but the taste of rose is very light. I think they don't put that much. I was expecting something more. I walk in a rose garden in the morning. For me, it was like a walk in the rose garden in the winter.
Not enough of rose.
So,
okay.
4 out
In the
of
20th
10.
and 13th centuries, Provence was one of the largest and wealthiest cities in France, thanks to the famous champagne fairs, the biggest trading hub in medieval Europe. The town even minted its own currency, the denier provinois, which circulated throughout Europe. Today, Provence is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and that's easy to see why. These overhanging floors are called jetting. The main reason is engineering. The overhang creates a special load distribution. The beams bend upward at the ends, which reduces sagging in the center. And this allowed builders to use thinner and cheaper beams. Second reason, of course, was saving space on narrow medieval streets. And third, protecting lower walls from rain, since gutters didn't exist back then.
What is the biggest impression of the day? Tell me, from the visit so far.
I think it's the César Tower. Very
César
interesting
Tower.
place.
The Tour César is the symbol of Provence and one of the finest examples of 20th century medieval fortification.
Yeah.
Okay, and what was interesting about this place?
The architecture. Because the tower is square at the base, but then it's an hexagon. And this is quite unique.
Okay.
It was not even for defense, it was more for prisoners and watchtower than
okay.
defense, really.
Okay. And that's a bit similar to Vincennes, right?
Yeah, it's close to not close, but reminds the donjon in Vincennes Castle, close by. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. But what do you think about those super narrow paths inside the tower? Because I had a feeling that like you can stuck their
Imagine
shoulders.
the guards, with the armors. The guys should be very small and not big. Otherwise, they will not fit. And you cannot cross also. It's one by one.
Yeah. But that's interesting feeling because of you're touching the real way of living back then, right?
Our noble Barzoi couldn't resist some drama. When a local dog challenged his aristocratic composure, Chiru tried to maintain his dignity, but then decided that some battles are worth fighting even for a gentleman. After this diplomatic incident, we could finally admire the St. Kyrios Collegiate Church. Okay, and what about the church?
Beautiful, beautiful lighting inside. Impressive.
Have you felt the presence of Jeanne d'Arc?
Absolutely.
She talked to the Église Saint-Kyrios is where in 1429 the newly crowned King Charles VII attended Mass together with Joan of Arc.
He said, go buy ice cream, but do not take rose. I didn't listen.
The church interior combines Romanesque and Gothic styles, evidence of its long construction history. From 14th century or from 12th century to 16th century it was built. Chiru was waiting for Big One to return from church, patiently ignoring the barking gentleman in front of him with dignity of bourgeois. After the church, my inner Macbeth took over. Everything shiny, everything fragrant is mine. So here I am exploring this beautiful rose garden with a plastic bag full of rose-scented look. No regrets.
Guys, this is basically not just a garden. This is like a tiny forest. And you have areas like this one here. So I'm not surprised that 300 species of roses all fit in here.
And we were super happy to meet the lady who works in this garden and who was taking part in its creation.
Donc c'est un jardin c'est un jardin privé qui a été repris il y a un petit peu plus de 15 ans maintenant et donc qui est issu d'une ancienne pépinière roseraie. Et le but du jeu c'était vraiment de recréer un petit écrin de verdure pour la rose de Provence. Donc bien sûr dans ce jardin on montre et on essaye de parler de la rose de Provence, mais on montre aussi plus de 500 autres variétés en partant des roses anciennes, des roses et on évolue comme ça un petit peu sur les rosiers modernes et donc tous les ans on agrémente un petit peu notre collection de roses avec des rosiers nouvellement créés et nous on est surtout intéressés par le parfum. Que la rose de Provins, la Gallica officinalis, c'est une rose qui est très parfumée. Alors, très éphémère, mais très parfumée. Et donc, c'est vraiment un rosier qu'on essaye de remettre en avant, effectivement, dans nos jardins, avec 3 hectares de nature, un côté arboré et issu de l'ancienne pépinière roseraie. Et donc, ici, aujourd'hui, c'est pas le cas, mais quand il fait un peu chaud, en ville, ici, vous avez toujours un petit oasis de fraîcheur. Il y a des petits cours d'eau aussi qui viennent alimenter et agrémenter le jardin. Donc, c'est une petite bulle de nature. On vous invite un peu à vous déconnecter.
And here, things got serious. Chiru encountered contemporary art in the form of wooden mushroom sculptures. As a noble Barzoi with centuries of hunting instinct, he immediately identified them as potentially dangerous monsters. His tactical approach was brilliant. First, careful observation from a safe distance. Second, a test attack to assess the threat level. Third, an attempt to provoke them into a chase. Surely this creature would reveal their true nature if tempted. But the mushrooms didn't move. If you have watched this video till this moment, please press like and subscribe. And we will be really grateful if you will leave a comment, as that helps us to promote our channel.
Combien d'espèces de roses ici?
On a un peu plus de 500 variétés.
500.
Par contre, de la rose de Provins, des roses anciennes, des familles Bourbon, Gallie, Centifolia, et aussi la rose de Damas, qu'on cultive aussi dans le sud de la France, dans d'autres régions. Et voilà, plein de familles et de variétés remontantes et non remontantes. C'est-à-dire qui refleurissent et d'autres qui ne refleurissent pas juste une. Voilà, c'est tout à fait. Voilà.
Merci.
Avec plaisir.
Merci beaucoup, c'est très intéressant.
Provence is a place where Middle Ages isn't a museum, it's living reality. Here, roses smell the same as they did 800 years ago, and every stone remembers merchants from all over Europe. Just 1 hour from Paris and you're in another time.